Hey everybody, it's Micah here with a look at animation testing in Tesla Breaks the World. So it's been a little while since my last video, and just wanted to give a sneak peek into one of the many projects that we've been working on since our Kickstarter ended. In one of the previous updates, we had talked about a list of the action items we've been working on. One of those things that I mentioned was, of course, animations. So I just wanted to take a couple minutes to give you all a sneak peek at the animations we've been working on, and to give you all a closer look at some of the characters in the game. As you can see, we've been able to dive in and really add a lot more nuance and detail to the animations, from little things like blinking, or even things like Tesla's mustache twitching. It just adds a lot more character to both our main characters, but also to the zombies and the bosses that you're going to find in the game. These animations are a great example of why this Kickstarter has been so important for us. Thanks to the very generous support of our backers, we've been able to dive in much farther into the smaller details that can really add so much flavor to the game. We've also been able to experiment more with our animations, from blending animations together, such as blending that blinking cycle that you saw a moment ago over a walking cycle, or even things like 3D arm swinging, even though the art is two-dimensional, which you should really see here in just a moment. Or another small thing like refining the way the dust particles appear when a zombie rises up from the ground. So lots of little nuances, and that's one of the things that makes it most exciting. And here you can actually see that 3D arm swing that I was actually talking about, even though it's 2D. Like I said, lots of experimenting with the animations, but we're having a lot of fun with these characters here, so really great stuff. And there you can see a little example of that rise animation here. As you can see, dust particles popping up out of the ground there. So once again, thank you all so much for your generous support, because that's really what's making this all possible. Of course, we have the police officer here. He's one of the many bosses that you encounter in the first world. You've seen him in the other videos in the Kickstarter. He has multiple ways of attacking you, from puking at range to this fierce ground slam that can really cause a lot of damage if you happen to be unfortunate enough to be in that area when his big old ham hocks come down. And of course, there he is. He also pops up and rises up out of the ground just like all the other ones, although a tad harder getting out of the ground apparently for him. The Crawler, another one of the zombie characters. He's a really fun one. There's a lot of personality in his animation cycles, and he's actually one of my favorites. I just really love this guy. Although, to be honest with you all, in the game he's very annoying. So despite how annoying he is in the game, here you can see he is working on his attacks. He obviously isn't really slowed down much despite the whole lack of legs thing, so kudos for him, for not really being slowed down by his disabilities. And, I guess I should talk about the mini spoiler here. Not really a spoiler, but you all know that Thomas Edison is in the game. But now you're going to get a first look at him. So this is Edison, Mr. Thomas Edison here in the game. It's not actually in the game, you're looking at the animations, but this is really what he's going to look like. I mentioned during the Kickstarter that you actually encounter Edison multiple times in the game. This is the first glance of his character in the game. So this is your first encounter with him. As you can see, he's also wielding his own version of the magnifying transmitter, his own cheap knockoff, I should say, of the magnifying transmitter, which he can zap you up into the sky or zap you up close, where he can then wail on you, which I actually kind of like this one here. You can see kind of having a little bit of fun as he wails on you there. Or something like that. As you can see, once again, kind of talking a bit more of those details. These are some of the little things we've been able to add, and even down to some of the mouths and eye movements that you see in the game. So really exciting stuff here, guys. And of course, it wouldn't be Thomas Edison if he didn't throw a little temper tantrum there. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. We got a lot more characters, a lot more updates coming, so stay posted.